All right, good day to you. My name is Fred Oakman, and with me today, as always, is Mr. Jake Peters. We are PS This Is Awesome, a PlayStation podcast. Thank you for tuning in. This is episode 345. We're a show where we share our feelings about the current state of PlayStation. But before we get on with our show, I want to invite you all to subscribe to our channel on YouTube, youtube.com/PS This Is Awesome. If you want to make fun of our trophy list on the PlayStation Network, you can find me at anchorless_81 and Jake at JakeSaw01. You can write us at psthisisawesome@gmail.com. Don't forget to share our show with your friends. Make sure you leave comments on the podcast feeds, and especially the YouTube channel. As a reminder, we are a video podcast, so if you want to see us talk about PlayStation, just go to our YouTube channel. You can do that there. If you're new or if you've been around for a while, you may or may not know, but we have a Patreon. You can support our show for $1 a month. The $1 level is in a Patreon tier called the one and only $1 Club, fittingly. So head over to patreon.com/PS This Is Awesome to become a $1 patron. Get a free die-cut vinyl sticker mailed to you, from us, to you, in your mail, and a shout-out on the show. With that out of the way, Jake, how are you doing? We're recording this on Monday. I will say, and I always fuck this up, the show airs for everybody on Wednesday. For our patrons, we try to have it come out a little earlier. So with that being said, we're recording this Monday, September 30th, the last day of September. Fall is officially upon us. What's going on?
Well, the guys that I contracted to do my roof are finally fucking here doing my roof.
Oh.
It was supposed to be done like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then, they couldn't find people to help, and then we got all that rain and blah, 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 blah. And so I don't know about you, but like when I have a project or I'm paying a lot of money for something, I want it to be done like ASAP. Like I want it to be done. I have that money spent. I want it to be out of my account. I want it to be paid for and over with, rather than having it be like, oh, because a lot of times you pay like half up front, and then it's like, oh, well, I got to just remember that I better have, whatever it is, this other half of this huge fucking bill in my bank account, so that whenever they finally finish the job, I can pay them off. But that was, when you texted me earlier, that was where I was at. I got home, I was walking around the house looking at what they've done, because they're like, a lot of times when they put steel roofs on houses, actually I would say even most times, they just put it right over the old shingle roofs. Mm-hmm. And I had them tear off all of the old roofing before they put the new roof on.
Wow, yeah.
Because we have an old house, and there's a lot of like if you've got old shingles and stuff, sometimes moss will grow on it, and some mildew and things like that. And plus the house is old, so I was just like, I just want him to. He kept trying to tell me like, well, you don't really have to do that, and I was like, no, I want you to, because they don't want to do it. It's like a pain in the ass for them to do it. But long story short, they are working on that.
Well, I'm glad you're making some progress on it, or at least they are now.
Yeah,
I know what you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying, I know what you mean about wanting to have the thing done like yesterday, because while I'm never in a hurry to spend a lot of money, I am literally in a hurry with everything I do. Like everything. There's no laid back version of me. So yeah, I just want shit done yesterday all the time. I want to eat yesterday. I want to shit yesterday. I want to work yesterday. I just want it all behind me all the time. I'm like Adam Sandler from Click. I just want to be to the next day. So like,
well, to me,
my entire life is passing me by.
To me, it's like, I'm resistant to spending this much money, regardless of how important it is.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, oh, you have to have surgery. It's like, can we just fucking do it now and get it over with, so I don't have to think about it anymore?
Yeah.
Or like, I don't want to have to sit around and wait for it or whatever. But yeah, I mean, and honestly, it's half that and half like speaking about the contractor, it's like, bro, I already paid you a shitload of money for my 50% down on this job. Can we like get the ball rolling here? Like, it's like I've paid for services that I have not yet received. And it's like I'm having windows done too. And I paid for 50% of my windows already, and I won't get them probably for another 6 to 7 weeks.
Yeah.
Which is like really, really frustrating. But it is what it is. I mean, you have to pay for the material and yada, yada, yada. It just sucks. The other thing that I will say is that just with regard to house stuff is I taped the drywall in my new office that we're renovating. And I gotta be honest with you, man, that was one of the shittiest fucking jobs I've ever done in my life. I haven't sanded it yet, but I put the tape down and I used all this mud. And then like, here's the problem with the YouTube videos. I know this sounds like a digression, but you know, I went on YouTube and like looked up a bunch of shit on how to do it.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm not a drywaller by trade, but I wanted to try it. So I find a YouTube video and it's like, oh, you should do it like this. And I'm like, okay, that makes kind of sense. It seems pretty simple and straightforward. Yeah. So I follow the video and I do the things and I'm like, man, this seems really hard. And I'm using a lot of joint compound to do this. Yeah. And like I used a whole fucking bucket. And then I was like, after the fact, it's all done. I go and watch like another video and it's like, oh, sometimes this is hard because of this. You should do this. And I was like, fuck. If I had just known that before I start, it's like there's always another video that has like a trick that is because you know, it's everybody's situation's a little different. So you're trying to find that video that is like that like duplicates your situation almost exactly and what you're trying to do. And because I have like a ceiling too, like I have to do all these inside corners and like all this shit that like is above your head and everything. And so to make a long story short, I think I'm going to have to do a lot of sanding, which sucks, but we're making progress on that. So that's kind of exciting. And then the last thing is that I got my beer here. I think I'm gonna do Sober October this year. So
I thought it was Sober September.
No, it's Sober October.
Because it rhymes.
I guess I don't know, but I was just thinking. I was like, you know what? Why the hell not? I'll give it a try. It's it's been a year. Like last year. I think it was last year or the year before that, I did a month without drinking, and I was just like, and I don't drink a lot. I mainly only drink on the weekends or like maybe have a drink when we do the podcast. But I was like, fuck it. This year I've been having a little bit of some weird health stuff going on, and so I was like, it won't hurt to cleanse for a month and see what's up, and hopefully it'll make me sleep better and everything. And so
I'll make sure to book a flood gig here.
September.
So we get served free alcohol, so you just have to
just to make it as difficult as possible. Yeah, so I'm having my my beer with the podcast on the last day of September, so hopefully I can
turn the
do
page.
A month of sobriety. Yeah.
Good. It makes it sound
How about you? How are you doing?
We both drink a lot. I'm having a drink myself. I have this Applejack whiskey from 5 and 20. I played at that distillery again, and they do a cash payout, and then they do a trade, which means they'll just give you a gift card for some of what they would have paid you otherwise. It's nice. They gave me $100 gift card, so I got a bottle of wine and 2 big things of whiskey, and I've been working on the Applejack, which is fine. I didn't like it the first time I got it, but I wanted to try it again, and I like it more now. I'm mixing it, but anyways, it doesn't matter. I'm doing all. Well, what's that?
I was gonna ask you. I keep forgetting. I wanted to have you the next time you played there. I don't know how much it costs, but I wanted to have you get one of their like bottles of bourbon.
Oh yeah.
Just because I'm just curious what like a local bourbon tastes like.
I have one at my house, I think.
Oh, do you?
I think that's what I picked up. If you want to try
yeah, because I was looking at their website,
cheap,
or maybe
like $40
even
or something, $45.
Oh wow. Even like their rye, I would be interested in, because like I don't know if did I ever tell you about that Meadville rye?
No, I don't know.
So there was a long time ago, like in the like, I don't know if it was like the 50s or the 40s or something like that.
Off my flannel. It's warm down.
There was a distillery in Meadville that specialized in making rye whiskey, and it disappeared forever. Well, somebody in the last few years bought the rights and the recipe to this old Meadville rye whiskey, and they started making it again. And they sell it at Conneaut Cellars in Conneaut Lake.
Oh, cool.
And it's actually really good. It's expensive, but it's actually really good. So
there's a meadery in town that's really good too here.
Is there? What's it called?
I forget what it's called. It's good though.
Interesting. So yeah, I don't know. That was a little bit of a tangent, but
well, you asked how I was, so I'm gonna fill the listeners in real quick. I'm good. Let me pull this up. I think I had a message from Blue Laser on the PlayStation store or wherever. I thought I saw it come in, and then I didn't. I just didn't. Here we go. Oh, all right. So we were talking about 3D printing. I picked up that FDM printer, and remember we had a Blue Laser was writing a while back about what kind of printer did I get, and I was like, oh, it's resin. It's only for minis. It's real fragile shit. Apparently, he went the other way and got FDM. He's been printing for about a year and a half. Printing on resin and printing FDM are completely different trades. Completely fucking different. The way you set them up, the way you look at them. But it's cool because he wrote and he said he's using TPU filament, which is a flexible filament. And he said he printed some oversized rubber bumpers using TPU. And he said if you have TPU and you're trying to use it, you need a dryer. And I don't know if he means like a fucking dryer like in your house. Like you throw it in there and just let it fucking dry, or like a hair dryer, or like a fucking, I don't know what he means by that. But anyways, Blue Laser, I appreciate you writing me about that. I am just now getting into, here, hold on, let me show you something. This is kind of silly, but maybe for anyone who wants to see, I have printed some stuff very successfully, mind you. Well, hold on.
Fred's walking over to the other part of his basement, just picking something up.
So it is Halloween time.
Coming back.
So, Jake, I don't know if you can see this guy.
It's a little ghost?
Yeah, and he's hollowed out. But I printed this. I printed two of them. I don't know if the listeners can see it on YouTube back here, probably. And it's just a little desk paperweight. Not really even a paperweight. I'm guessing you put like a little LED light and his eyes will glow. It's pretty fucking dope. It was a free design. And I've been playing with the speed settings on my FDM printer. And those who know that if the faster you print shit with these printers, usually the worse the quality gets as far as seeing layer lines. And you can see layer lines on this, but I hit it with some spray paint and kind of gave it some shadows, so it looks cool. But I used like a point, and if Blue Laser's listening, I used a .04 layer height with, I have an Anycubic 2 or Anycubic Cobra 2 Pro, and with that, I mean it ramps up the print time. But if I'm just printing like a mini, like some shit like I don't even know, like little dungeon doors, little pillars, I can use an FDM printer, and it's significantly more affordable than fucking with resin for terrain and stuff for my dungeons, which is awesome. And the quality is really impressive considering how it's doing it. And but I have printed some other things, and I want to print that VR stand that I was looking into. But I've been having a good time doing that, so to speak. So I've been playing the 3D printer. I got a new desk because I can work from home now. Did I tell you about this desk thing that I bought?
Yeah, it's like a workbench.
Yeah, it came in. I assembled it. That turned out pretty good. What else is going on in my life? I played at Voodoo Brewery on Arch Street on Friday downstairs, which was weird, just for 2 hours on Friday, and they paid me what they would pay the fucking Flood to play 3 hours. So I'm like, okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
And then I played Sunday at a thing called Autumn Fest in Cambridge Springs, Pennsylvania, to about 5 people, and got paid a third of what they would pay the Flood to play 3 hours. So I did all right this weekend. But I played some music, and things are starting to wind down. I will bring back up, if we have any listeners in the area, which I don't think we do, One If by Land has an awesome show coming up at the Voodoo Compound. A band called 68 is playing, and tickets are $25 if you get them in advance. It's Kicked in the Head by a Horse, Us, One If by Land, Kanashi, who've like opened for Coheed and been on a tour with those guys, I think, and then the band 68, they're a two-piece, but they're hard as fuck, and it's the dude from The Chariot, and it's his band, and they're metal as hell, and they're really kind of a big deal. So they're coming to town, and from what I understand, the cap is like 340 or 350 some people, and I think it's already half sold out, and the show is October 26th. And I'm stoked to play. It's going to be a good time. We're excited to bring the band out to do that. It's probably going to be one of the biggest shows in Meadville. It's also, coincidentally, the same night of the largest Halloween parade in western Pennsylvania is going on that night, as is a showing of the Rocky Horror Picture Show at the Academy Theater.
So that's the night of the Halloween parade?
Yeah, October 26th.
Which means it's almost certainly going to rain. Because it rains every fucking year.
Well, the show's inside. The show's indoors.
Well, that's good. That's good.
And Shaner's running sound, so it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be great. So, like I said, though, it's kind of a high price point for a local show, but I mean, from what I understand, there's people from Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Buffalo coming down here to catch them because they're not playing those bigger cities. I don't think so.
That's rad.
Yeah, so it's going to be fun. So that's what's going on with me. Man, it's just been a long thing. I also have an awesome golf outing planned this Friday, off work Friday. I'm not going to go into details because it'll sound kind of weird, but I'm going to play golf with somebody who plays in a band, and I love his band, and we're going to hang out, and it's going to be so fun. I just hope it doesn't fucking rain. So I got that planned this week. I'll give a follow-up on next show. But that aside, dude, working, man, just working. Been doing a lot of driving. I don't know. I felt like there was something else I wanted to touch on, but it's not coming to me at the moment. Maybe it'll hit me. Oh, this isn't like part of this. I don't know where else to put it. And you can chime in on this too, and then we'll get into games we're playing. The PlayStation 30th anniversary sale. We were in a three-way chat, you, me, and LJ, and I did manage to pick up a 30th anniversary controller. I could have bought the PlayStation Portal 30th anniversary. I had access to it, but I didn't do it. But Jake, did you get anything at the 30th anniversary?
Yeah, I just got the regular DualSense.
Yeah, that's what I got. Yeah.
I think all of the consoles were gone because, to be honest with you, I didn't even get on the website until probably 12:30, 1 o'clock. It was like lunchtime by the time I was able to even check it out. And so I got in there, and they had controllers. I think they had DualSense Edge, and I don't even know if they had portals. They might have had portals left whenever I got on there. But I thought about getting the DualSense Edge, but then I was like, wait a minute, it's a fucking $200 controller. No, I'm not buying that.
Yeah, I heard the battery life's worse on it anyways.
Right, so, and the battery life's already bad on DualSense. So it's point. Yeah, so I actually was really tempted to get the Portal, but my home Wi-Fi isn't good enough for it. Yeah. I have my PlayStation hardwired.
Well, at least you don't think it is.
Well, yeah. I have a mesh network at my house, and it's not like the highest grade of Wi-Fi. So I don't think I have the band. Even though I'm hardwired from my console to my network, I don't know if I'm doing the correct whatevers for the Wi-Fi. And so it's like $200 is a pretty hefty price tag for something that may or may not function well in your house.
Right.
So I just got the controller, and I'm happy about that, I guess. Well, I guess I won't know until I get it, but it looks dope.
Yeah. I will make one more note before we get into games that we're playing. I'm surprised no one wrote in about this, but the YouTube video was fine, but the podcast itself, if you just stream it on your device and you don't watch it on YouTube, the intro track was missing. It was just gone.
So it's just blank audio for
like
15
seconds. I went into the service to try to I tried it 3 times. It gives you the option to change the audio file. So I took all the time to remix it, resave it, because after I upload them, I usually delete, because I have multiple versions of the file, I just deleted it. It takes up space. If I saved everything I kept for this podcast, I'd need like 5 fucking servers here. But like, I upload it, it would go all the way to 100%, but it would just hang. And I was like, fuck. So I did it. Because it came out on, the podcast came out on Wednesday. And I'll always just click it once just to make sure it's the right version, make sure I didn't fuck up. But it was just silence. And you could hear like me rustling around and you just rustling around. No intro song. And it was a little bit quieter because I don't think I hit it with compression. So I think it must have been the raw audio as opposed to the audio from the video. So I must have just mixed down the wrong version of it. But it's still the same podcast. But if the listeners hear that, let me know. I will try to fix it, but I was unable to fix it. And I even changed the name of the file when I tried to re-upload it. It just wasn't taking it. And I don't know why it wasn't working. I know that it's there. It'll forever go down in the annals of history as being the podcast without a fucking intro song. 344. It's kind of frustrating, actually. It bothers me, but it is what it is. That out of the way, let's talk about games we're playing, Jake. Every episode, you and I have a little chat about games that we're playing. We have both been playing Space Marines. Now, I don't know about you. This game was way shorter. I beat it. Did you beat it?
I have not
All right,
beaten it yet, though. I think I'm in like the last stretch or so, though.
It's so short. It's so much shorter than you think. And I don't even so here my story's kind of stupid. So I try to fight going to bed every fucking night. I don't say, okay, I'm going to go to bed, and then I just go and I lay down and close my eyes and just wait for it to happen. I can't fucking do that. I push myself to the last minute every night. I stay up as late as I possibly can, scrubbing YouTube, doom scrolling, whatever the fuck I do, just to do it, because I can't stand the thought of sleeping and wasting all that time. So I'm sitting there with the controller in my hand. I'm playing Space Marines. I'm at like a boss battle. And I'm like not dying. I'm just fucking slugging this person away. I'm just kicking ass. And I'm like, well, there's no way this is the last boss. He's going to like, I'm expecting like a Final Fantasy thing where he's going to convert into like somebody else. Or like if this is the last boss, it should be harder than this. Anyways, I must have beaten him and fell right directly asleep with the controller in my hand. I woke up. And it was like at the tail end of a cinematic. And something's just fucking happening with no explanation. And then the credits literally just start rolling. And I'm like, what? I fucking the game I've been waiting for forever to play. I beat it, fell asleep at the very end. Credits roll. And I don't know what happened. I still haven't gotten on YouTube to watch the final like ending of the game. I'm not playing it again, I'll tell you that. But I have gone in and I've played a couple more of the multiplayer missions. It's the first time I've ever done that. I've fallen asleep with a controller in my hand before. I'll wake up and like I'll just be getting attacked, or I'll be like I will have like died, and it will be like at the screen where it's like, do you want to continue? Or that's happened many times in different games. I've fallen asleep in places where I'm not getting attacked, and I'll wake up with a controller in my hand. My guy's just like facing. Sometimes what I'll do is like when I fall asleep, I'll have my thumb on the joystick. And my character will just be fucking running. And then I'll wake back up, and I won't recognize where I'm at. And then I'll be like, I gotta fucking turn this off. And then I'll just shut it off.
Yeah.
But I do that all the time when I game. And it just goes to show like how little time I really have. And I just try to capitalize on it. But I will say this about Space Marines. My last little blurb about it till you beat it, Jake. Very linear. And not a whole lot of changes to gameplay. If I had one thing I would have liked for them to do, it would have been more enemy types, maybe a couple more mini bosses, and I probably would have appreciated them rolling out new weapons a little slower. Because I think by like...
Yeah, there aren't many.
No, there's not a whole lot of... And there's not really much of a difference. Those are the three things. The gameplay's fine. The graphics are good. I could give or take the voice acting. It's all good. You know, it doesn't blow my socks off, but it doesn't suck. But it's like, if they would have just
honestly
done
more or less just more loadout options. Like, you should have more special abilities. Like, they have that...
the jetpack's cool.
They have the jetpack one, and then they have the one where you just, like, get health for using melee. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
It's called, like, I don't know.
But you don't get the
Something
jetpack
masculine.
for all the missions. You get it for, like, 2 missions or something.
They only give it to you when it's relevant to traverse the level.
Right.
But there's so many cool things you can do with it. Like, that whole thing where you can, like, hover and shoot, or, like, hover and then, like, ground pound. It's fucking rad.
It is
Like,
cool.
I wish that they would just... I get that it would probably break the game a little bit if they let you have that whenever you wanted, but I always found that was a lot more useful than the melee one.
And I didn't love the controls, though, for the jetpack. You know, I don't love them, but...
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of weird, but all in all, it was serviceable.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that it was really that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm glad that you liked it, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, I loved it. Yeah, it was great. You know,
So,
I don't
are
regret
you gonna
purchasing
try?
it.
Are you gonna try and play the like the additional co-op?
Yeah, I've done
levels
2
or
of them
whatever?
now. I've done 2 of them. I'd like to, because you get trophies for them. So I want to.
Right.
I think I have 4 left. I think there's a total of 6. But I'll say this. I am playing Astro Bot right now, though. And this game, it's fun. I almost feel like there's too much. I'm probably going to get slapped in the face for saying that by people who love the game, but it's almost like there's just too much shit in Astro Bot. Like, you definitely get your money's worth for sure. I still think...
I agree with you in one sense, and that's like, I hate all of the... Hate is a strong word. I don't hate it, but like, I think that's from the perspective of an adult who has limited time, but it's like when you're in one of the individual little galaxies and it's like you have to do all this fucking around to find all the levels. Like, fly your spaceship around and hit the asteroid, and then it makes a new map, or fly around until you find the face button levels. It's like, just unlock them as I beat levels, and then I'll go to them and play them or whatever, because it's not like they're hard. It's like one of these things where it's like, this isn't challenging enough for me to get that makes it worth it being in the game. Like I know it's there. Because you tell me that I'm missing a puzzle piece. I just fucking fly around in circles until it appears, and then I grab it. So it's like I feel like they could have trimmed the fat on that a little bit, but yeah, I mean, I'm curious what you have to say now that you've played more Astro Bot, because I actually beat the main story and got the credits and everything yesterday.
Awesome.
I think it was.
Did you platinum it?
So no, I'm working on it right now. I'm going through all of the lost levels, which is that special galaxy with all the lost levels. And I think after you beat all those, there's like additional like master levels or whatever.
Jesus.
Because I think whenever you beat all of the lost levels, that only puts the lost galaxy, that only puts you at like 275 bots, and there's 300 of them.
Yeah.
So there must be some like extra levels that pop up or whatever. But I don't know, man. I got to be honest with you. Like, I really love the game. I'm constantly smiling when I'm playing it, and it's so cute. And dude, some of those challenge levels are fucking hard.
Yeah.
Like,
That's what LJ was saying.
I mean, like I know that I'm trying to remember which face button it is. Square or circle maybe, but there's this one where it's like you're avoiding all of this lava and fire, and you have to like pick up this rubber ducky, and he like spits water out, and to like harden the lava so you can walk on it, but then he runs out and you've got to get to another rubber ducky, and then you get through this area and then you have to do all this other shit. The problem with those levels is that if you die, it takes you all the way back to the beginning of the level. So you have to get the whole sequence all the way to the end exactly right. And some of these get really fucking wild, where like you can't stop in the middle because all the platforms are falling and shit, so you can't think. You've got to just learn it and go. And some of them I probably died 30 times trying to beat them.
Yeah.
But that's the thing though, is it like because they're short and it respawns so fast, it's kind of fun, especially the ones that are really flowy and you get like a rhythm and you just like kind of bang through it. It's pretty satisfying, to be honest with you.
Well, the only thing that bothers me about the game so far, I'll say three things maybe. This game was made for people with ADHD. So far, every level, there's like a new mechanic that I'm playing, and I'm like, this is awesome. The one level I had a lot of trouble with was early on, where you have to catch all those monkeys, and a couple of those monkeys were fucking hard to catch, and I was just like,
with the net,
yeah, it was so annoying. I got them all eventually, but so that's one thing. I'm loving all the like fresh stuff I'm experiencing so far in the first Galaxy. It seems like every level, it's like, oh, you're small. Oh, you can turn into a balloon. Oh, you have a net. Oh, you have a magnet. And it's like, oh, okay. All these things are just boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, I'm never bored playing this game so far. The other thing is, I'm trying to get all of the things in the levels as I play the level. So if I don't get it the first trip in, I go back in a second trip. And the thing that bothers me the most is that you have to play these levels twice. You have to. Because as soon as you get the alternate galaxy warp thing, you beat the level. So unless you get everything and then get that last, maybe. But sometimes you don't know where that is, and you'll spin down into the ground, and it's like, okay, well, now I got to beat the level, and you didn't get everything else. So like the game forces you to play them more than once, the levels, and that's kind of annoying for me. Although like as soon as you know the level, you go through it like literally 50% faster than the last time you played it. And I have been using the game help a little bit when you press the PlayStation Home to find like the missing puzzle piece or whatever. I just find that a lot easier than buying the thing that radars out and tells you where the stuff is. Because you can't buy that thing till your second playthrough anyways, and you might as well just use the game help because it's there and it's free. So save the coins. That's a pro tip. But anyways, I do really like this game. I cherish it. It's fun. The music's catchy. I still stand by my statement earlier last episode about it just being a really clean game. It just looks pretty. It sounds good. The haptics are great. It's cute. It's all the things. You know what I mean? It's just all those things. And there's a lot of TLC that was put into this, whether or not they did it in a short amount of time or whether it took them a long time to make this game. I don't even know. I think they made it relatively quick, but this isn't their first rodeo with Astro Bot, so they probably had a lot of these assets already kind of made up, but like the polish is just, it hasn't glitched on me once. I haven't had anything weird happen in my playthrough of this game. I don't know if you have, Jake, but this game is exactly how a game should be when it ships. Like I've not had a single problem with it. So anyways, I like this game a lot. Astro Bot's good. I'm currently playing that, and I'm still working on Space Marines. Casting of Frank Stone will be next, and then we'll get into maybe the PlayStation Plus games that we're getting for free here in October, and I'll talk more about that later on the show. Jake, what are you playing?
Mainly right now, it's just Astro Bot. I was playing Space Marine, obviously, to because I did want to get through that game. So I was kind of alternating. I'd like beat a galaxy in Astro Bot, then I go play Space Marine a little bit, then I go back to Astro Bot, and then finally I just got to the point where it's just like, I'm just gonna finish Astro Bot. I'm gonna get where I need to go, and then I'm gonna jump back to Space Marine. I may go back to Space Marine now that I'm kind of through the majority of Astro Bot.
Yeah, but
yeah, I mean, you're basically right about everything with the game. Eventually, you do get to a point where they start reusing the power-ups and stuff, because they can't make something new for every single level. That would be kind of crazy. It would be awesome, but it would be kind of crazy. But Yeah, I think it's I have nothing really new to say about it other than it's a lot of fun, and I do think that it's cool that they added that feature with the little bird that helps you find things. So very rarely, I think only one time I've had to actually look something up because the bird was like pointing me at like a brick wall and I couldn't figure out what the fuck it was trying to point me at. And so I had to, and I was just missing something stupid. But generally, I really enjoy it, and I've been saving I save all of my coins for just that. Just doing the bird thing, and then once I know that I've got most of all the stuff that I need, then I'll go back and spend a bunch on the vending machine or whatever for the little bots or what have you. But I always leave at least a couple thousand coins to my name so that I can use the little bird if I need to. I know it's kind of overkill, but yeah, I've been kind of eyeing up the platinum. There's a lot of stuff that you got to do that seems like it should be attainable relatively quickly, but one of them is you got to get through all the lost levels, so that's what I'm working on now, and I don't know. Really enjoying it. I can't say enough good things about this. And when they come out with that speedrun mode that's like that free update that they talked about in the State of Play, I'll probably give it a whirl because it's free. I mean, you might as well.
Yeah, I agree. For sure. Cool, dude. Well, I think we should move on with the podcast. And the next thing we usually do is we talk about some news points. And what a week for news. We have some things we're going to discuss. I don't think that we're going to go into crazy detail about all of it. But I'm sure most of you are curious to hear about what Jake and I have to say about PlayStation's most recent September 2024 State of Play. Now, Jake, I watched this almost in real time. I was able to catch it almost in real time, which was interesting. But I put a link there in the notes if you want to refresh your memory a little bit on some of the stuff that was covered. I would say the big thing that everybody has something to say about is the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima. And it is, I don't know how to pronounce it, Ghost of Yotei. Is that what it is?
I think it's Yotei.
Yotei. Yeah. Ghost of Yotei. And it's coming out next year. So this is kind of like, I like this because we're already at the end of 2024. When this is releasing, I don't know. And it's got a lot of people talking. A lot of people are upset because this takes place in the future, maybe 100 years in the future or something. And
I think it's more than that, but yeah,
it's during like a really pivotal moment in history, and so we don't get to see the antagonist that we know and love from the first series, Jin. We don't get him. We get somebody else, and that has caused a little bit of consternation with fans, but I don't mind this whatsoever. I think this is fine. I mean, the game looks good. It looks like it's got all the same trappings that the first one had, all the same things that'll keep it sticky and fun for us to play. Jake, what did you think of this trailer? I mean, I was excited that PlayStation finally fucking showed us something. You know, we finally got something.
So, first of all, just a couple of quick things. I actually watched most of the State of Play on my phone in a parking lot in Pittsburgh because I was going to the Under Oath concert this week in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
They're doing their 20th anniversary tour of that one album that's like really popular, and came out when I was in high school. And I was like, oh shit, because I didn't want to go in yet because I had assigned seats, so I didn't fucking care when I got in there. And so I was like, oh shit, I forgot about the State of Play. So I'm like sitting in the parking lot, just watching it on my phone, like a freaking nerd. But so I probably didn't get the best watch experience, but I did go back later and watch some of the shit on YouTube on my computer. The other thing is that, dude, when we pulled these state of play recaps up on Push Square. I get why they do it this way, but it annoys the shit out of me that they don't list the releases in chronological order.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, I wish that it was like, this is what they showed first, this is what they showed second, this is what they showed third. But no, it's like the biggest one first, and then the next biggest one next, and then whatever. But as far as Ghost of Tsushima's sequel goes, and people's comments on it, first of all, I think it looks fucking rad. And I love the idea of like a female kind of like ninja ghost assassin samurai kind of character. And first of all, the whole time during that trailer, I was like, that's a woman. I was like, that's a woman. I know it is. And then at the end, she like takes her mask off or whatever the fuck it is. And then everyone in the chat's like, woke, woke, woke. I'm like, oh my God, suck a dick. But
there's such a blowback. Like at first, like it's not even a political thing saying woke. Like it's like at first it was just like, you know, maybe we should be respecting all nationalities, sexes, creeds, sexualities. And like we're like, okay, yeah, let's do that. And now anytime it's not like a straight white dude, everybody online's like, this shit's fucking woke. And like it's like
it's annoying.
It's so annoying.
Dude, it's Sucker Punch. They probably have a rad ass fucking story that explains why she's at where she is, where she's at. Yeah. But anyway, we don't need to talk about that. It's just annoying.
Ridiculous. Yeah, that's all.
But the thing about Jin Sakai, which is the other thing that people were bringing up, is like Jin Sakai is like Aloy. Like as far as main characters go, they're pretty fucking boring. Like those characters don't make those games.
No, not
like the reason why Horizon is awesome is not because Aloy is an awesome character. It's because you're fighting fucking dinosaurs as like a far-flung like neo-Native American kind of badass.
Yeah.
And it's the same in like the overarching story with the sci-fi shit. And like the reason why Ghost of Tsushima is awesome is not because of this Jin Sakai character that shows zero emotion whatsoever. It's because of his struggle and what he's trying to do, and like the Huns and his fight with the whole ghost versus samurai kind of thing. And like you could literally plug random Japanese guy into that story and it would be identical, in my opinion. I don't think there's anything special about him. So the fact that they're moving to a new character, and it seems like this series might be more of an anthology kind of thing, where each game is like its own kind of contained story. I think that sounds fucking sick. And the fact that this takes place, I think they said 300 years after Ghost of Tsushima, is cool. Like, I think with this, you're getting maybe a smidge into the industrial age. So there's like this one shot, I don't know if you saw it at the end, where she's firing a rifle.
Oh yeah, which
is rad. Like, I'm really curious to see how they're going to integrate that into the gameplay. And like, I'm sure it'll be really primitive black powder shit, but it's like, I don't know, man. Like, and like the environments look rad. The whole Mount Yote
a little bit.
I think they had explosives, but I don't think they had guns.
Okay.
If they were, maybe they were like those fire sticks or whatever the fuck that they had. Like, it wasn't like rifles.
It's but I could be wrong about it.
I mean, it's been 4 years since we've played that game, so it's not like I mean, unless you played it more recently. I haven't played it since it came out.
Yeah,
but
I haven't played it recently.
Yeah, I guess to put a pin or to put a cap on my comments, I think it looks great, and I'm super stoked about it. I have to imagine this will be like a summer, fall release next year, and I think it's going to be awesome. I just hope that it's not like tuned for the PS5 Pro and runs like shit on the regular PS5. That's the only thing that I'm worried about. As long as it runs great on the regular PS5, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
At least in like the performance mode or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if I'm being honest, like the cinematic gameplay thing, the guy sitting next to the fire was kind of cool, and that looked really good. But then, like when it showed like the grass and the wheat, the stuff, like it didn't look super pretty. Like it looked good, but it didn't look like, whoa, this is like fucking PS Pro material. It didn't strike me that way.
Yeah.
It looked pretty.
Yeah, I guess we won't
basic.
know. It's kind of tough to tell in a YouTube video, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
It looked like Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, on PS4
with a giant mountain in the background.
Yeah. It looked good though. I mean, I'm not trying to trash it. It looked fine. The other thing I wanted to bring up, we saw at the State of Play. This is kind of stupid, I think, but I think it's getting some blowback too. Horizon Zero Dawn is getting remastered for PS5. It's coming out in a month, October 31st. It'll be $10 to upgrade the PS4 to PS5 upgrade. What? Like, I don't care. Jake, anything on that?
So I'm with you in that I'm probably not going to play this, or at least it's not like something that I'm super stoked about. But I will say it looks pretty good. Like, you can tell watching the trailer that they went back through and reanimated a lot of this stuff and updated the graphics and kind of brought everything in line with Horizon Forbidden West. Mm-hmm. So you can't really argue that they didn't do anything with this remaster. Does that mean that I'm going to play it? Probably not. I'm not going to play the Until Dawn remake. Like, I'm probably not going to play this unless for some reason I decide to replay it before the third game comes out or whatever. So, yeah, I mean, I guess that's really all I have to say about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. Yeah, I mean, whatever. I just don't... Sony must be looking at these things. And they must be doing the mental math where it's like, well, we can pay the studio X amount of money or whatever to make this remaster. And we stand to gain X amount of money. Like, all the assets are pretty much already there. The game's there. The voiceover's there. Like, it's just like... We pay X amount of money, we tend to see like a profit margin of this amount, right? And it's just like, okay, this makes sense. Let's just do it. But I think the bigger picture is like, what are these studios doing? Well, we're going to get to that in a second. But, yeah, I don't know. It's just, I don't know that it's always the best use of studio creatives to do this kind of thing. But whatever. I'm happy that they're doing it.
I mean, I think isn't Nix's doing it?
I don't know who's doing it.
And if they are, Nix's with help of Guerilla, I mean, that's kind of what Sony bought them for. So I can't really, as long as it's not like what's annoying is when Naughty Dog, one of their games, gets remastered. It's like they insist on doing it themselves. So it's like, okay, they're not working on a new game because they're fucking remastering Drake's Fortune or something. Yeah. It's like, okay, I get it. Like, you're protective, but I would rather you work on something new. Whereas like a studio like Nix's, it's like, okay, you were bought for this purpose, so I guess I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned earlier, Jake, we're getting free DLC for Astro Bot. They're giving us speed run levels and different Astro Bots that we can pick up. We did get an announcement of the PS Plus Essential games for 2024. We're going to get to that in a later news point. Last of Us Part 1 coming to Plus Extra and Premium. Okay. And then another one that's interesting, jumping on, we knew Horizon was just going to become a fucking thing. They were just keep shoving down our throats. This actually doesn't look bad, though. And this is Lego Horizon Adventures. That's coming out in November. It actually looked kind of neat. I won't buy it. I'm not into those Lego games, but I had no problem with this. It actually looked kind of refreshing.
Yeah. To be honest, this is one of those things where like my gut says, you're talking about Horizon?
The Lego.
You're talking about Astro Bot. Oh, yeah, the Horizon Lego collection. Yeah, I gotta be honest. I think this is cool, and I may be this is one of those games where like my gut tells me I'm not gonna play this, but something may drag me into it. Like it may come out and get really good reviews, or something might come out about it that says like, oh, you really should play it because of this or whatever, and it may drag me in. But my gut tells me that like, I don't know that I'm going to play this, at least not initially. I'm sure at some point we'll get it on like PS Plus Extra or something, and I can just play it there. But I'm not anxious to run out and get it at launch.
Yeah, fair. All right. The other thing is there was a couple other shit we're not even going to talk about. Doesn't even make sense to do that. New colors for PlayStation. New DualSense for Fortnite. Don't give a fuck. There's a new trailer for the Monster Hunter Wilds for February 2025. That game looks awesome, but it's not my wheelhouse. Jake, if you want to
chime in. This is one of those games. Sorry to cut you off, but this is one of those games where it's like, man, if you were just a different game. Like it looks so fucking cool. Mm-hmm. Like everything about like the story and like the little cats and like the gameplay and everything looks so good. But the last time I tried to play a Monster Hunter game, I was just so overwhelmed. And like I don't really like multiplayer games. And so I'm just like, this game probably is never going to happen for me. But I agree with you. It looks so fucking cool.
Yeah. All these Monster Hunter games look awesome. Also, Nier Automata and Stellar Blade are getting a merge or something. I don't know. Nier Automata characters are coming into Stellar Blade. There's going to be a Lunar Remastered collection, which is actually kind of dope. But again, I remember these games from back in the day. They're like from the 90s, but my brother might be interested in them. I don't know.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I'm actually really interested in this. Yeah. I played a little bit when it came out. I played a little bit of Silver Star Story, and was really interested in it. But it was a little over my head for the time, and so I might be interested in checking these back out, depending on how much they cost and what sort of like quality of life improvements they've made or whatever. I like that they're keeping the original aesthetic. But a lot of these games call me weak or not a gamer or whatever. But when I revisit games like this, I like there to be some sort of like a fast play mode where I can like speed up leveling or something like that, so I can just experience the story and the game and like what it meant to people without having to do all of like the gnarly grinding and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know. I don't remember if this is going to have, or if they've even mentioned if they're going to have that kind of stuff in here. As far as the Nier Automata DLC with Stellar Blade, like that's kind of interesting because Stellar Blade is so clearly inspired by Nier Automata.
Right.
But I have no idea what this is. I'm curious to see if they're going to add levels or bad guys or what, or if they're just giving you the ability to play as 2B. I don't know, but that game's rad. I think more people need to play it.
Nier?
Well, Nier Automata for sure, but also Stellar Blade.
Yeah. Very good. All right. Well, other things real quick. And Power World is out on PS5 or announced. Oh, it is out too. Don't care. They're doing a remaster of Soul Reaver 1 and 2 coming out in December. A lot of weird things like Dynasty Warriors Origins. It's coming out January 2025. A lot of like JRPG, kind of those kind of style of games. Let me see here. What was that noise? Did you send me something?
No.
I had a weird noise just come through. I think the listeners will probably hear that. Dino Crisis is coming on PS5, PS4. Weird. I don't know, man. There's just shit. It was just like there's a lot of filler as far as I'm concerned. There is a PS1 style horror game called Fear the Spotlight that's coming out, and it's just like 8-bit, 16-bit was like a big thing for a while, like all these whatever graphics you want to call them, that kind of artwork. Well, it's weird if this starts a new trend. I'm going to be so disappointed, but these like very obviously polygon created games. I agree there's some nostalgia there for it. It could be good, but I don't know. I mean, it doesn't look bad enough to be a PS1 game. Like it's very clearly been upgraded in some capacity, modernized a little bit. Mm-hmm. As far as some of this other stuff goes, like Soul Reaver,
1 and 2. I never played those games, but I know they're like fan favorites. So I'm marginally curious about those. Dynasty Warriors never did it for me. Even though this is the first Dynasty Warriors game in a long time, and I know they're very popular, and they started a whole genre with the whole Musou thing. But like, I when you're just, it's like 1v1000 or whatever the fuck that shit is. It's like, I don't know. It's just not for me. Even Dragon Quest Heroes, which I thought was kind of fun, was still just like, I was over it fast.
Yeah.
Just fighting tons of enemies and this whole, it's got a little bit of a tower defense, not tower defense, but like sometimes I don't know. It's just not for me. Were you going to bring up that game Hell Is Us? Because I think that game looks fucking rad.
I wasn't, but you can bring it up.
So there's that game, Hell Is Us, which is, the name is stupid. I'll admit that. I don't really like the name at all. But it's like a post-apocalyptic kind of open world action RPG kind of game where it's like fusing tech with like weapons and like melee weapons and stuff. I don't know. It's hard to describe, where it's like the enemies are like these weird like creatures that are all sci-fi looking, and then but like the main character that they show in the trailer anyways looks like they come out of The Division or something, but they've got a sword and they've got this freaking data pad which is all like modern technology and like it's this weird like clash of genres and like visual styles that somehow seems incredibly appealing to me. What is gonna make or break it for me, I guess, is how difficult it is, because I'm not gonna want to play it if it's like super soulsy. But if it's more like on the Stellar Blade spectrum, I could see myself still playing it. But the other thing is that there was a note about this game where it was like there's not a lot of like maps and user help and stuff. They're supposedly, the whole idea behind it, it's a very Elden Ring-esque, where they're just sort of letting you loose in this world and you just kind of have to figure shit out on your own.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, that appeals to me in theory, but as a time-crunched gamer in my late 30s, I don't know if I have the patience for a game where I'm like constantly running around trying to look for my next objective. And so, but we'll see how it's implemented, because Elden Ring was cool and I never finished it, but it was kind of cool that you'd run around and you would just explore and find random shit that you would never expect to find. But there needs to be some level of direction for me. Like there needs to be like a target for me to at least explore towards while I'm kind of finding my own way. So we'll have to see how that goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know that you kind of scrolled past Dragon Age, but I don't really have anything to say about this. I don't know if you do. It is what it is. I know you liked Inquisition, right?
According to my stats, I dumped like 100 hours into that game. I don't remember that, but
I got into like the last couple battles of Inquisition, and then I just quit playing it because I was just bored with it.
Yeah.
I didn't really care for the combat all that much, just like MMO style combat, and you had to like do all this busy work to like build up your forces, and like it just didn't really do it for me. But I know that's not necessarily the core of Dragon Age's gameplay, was that particular game. So this game like looks, when you watch trailers of it, like it looks good. I just don't know if I'm all that interested. Now, if people come out and they say like the story's amazing, the relationships are amazing in the game, there's all this crap, blah 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 blah, maybe I'll pick it up. But I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna do it for me. Trying to think. Is there anything else here that you specifically wanted to bring up?
no, nothing else on there. I was just gonna ask, generally speaking, what you thought about the state of play.
So the only other thing, and we haven't really talked about any of this stuff, was the VR2 showing. So they showed that claymation kind of dark fantasy game, The
Yeah.
Midnight Walk,
Yeah, that
which
looks
looked
cool.
rad. And then they had Metro, the Metro game. They
Oh, it looks
showed that,
great.
which obviously
Yeah.
looks great. And then they also had, apparently they're putting a VR mode in Hitman World of Assassination, which I'm kind of curious how that's going to play out. Because if they put as much care into the gameplay of that as they do into something like Resident Evil or Half-Life Alyx or something, it could be really fun to play.
Well, there was a Hitman VR for PSVR 1.
But from what I understand, it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
So I don't like you had to use a controller, like you didn't have the move stuff. Like I don't know. Like so we'll have to see. I mean, I'm not going to jump right into it, but I'm much more interested in the Metro game, and even some of the Midnight Walk thing. The only other thing I guess that I would touch on is that I guess there's going to be DLC for Shredder's Revenge. I don't know if I'm going to play this, but Shredder's Revenge is a dope game that everyone should play.
Yeah.
So if you haven't played it yet, this might be a reason for you to jump in.
Yeah, and I guess I should mention this too. And it wasn't shown at the State of Play, but the G.I. Joe game is out. The beat 'em up game. And,
Oh yeah, what's it called?
I don't even remember. Salt on Cobra Island, maybe? They're just going based on memory there. It did... No, Wrath of Cobra. It's got a 7 out of 10 on Steam. This is, and I was joking with LJ. It was like, unfortunately, this is going to be the highest rated G.I. Joe game out there. It's gonna be the best one they've made yet, but it still looks like it sucks. So I mean, it's not saying a whole lot.
I mean, it's like I just pulled it up on OpenCritic just because I'm curious, and there's only 3 reviews on here. They're like 2 8 out of 10s and a 7 out of 10, but they're all from like websites that I've never read in my life. So like I don't know. Hopefully it's. But if it's, I mean, even if it's just like marginally fun beat 'em up, it's probably worth playing if someone is a big G.I. Joe fan.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good review. I mean, I don't think it's gonna suck. But I do think it's going to suck at the same time. I don't know. It'll be fine. I haven't bought it yet. I have other things I want to play. I will play this game, though, for certain. Anyways, let's move on with the show, man. I'm getting hit
But
with
all in all, I know that we kind of breezed through a lot of that, State of Play. All in all, I thought it was a relatively good showing. And I have no really bad things to say about it. There was a little bit of something for everybody. The only thing that they were missing was maybe like a sports game or like a driving game.
Yeah.
But everything else was there. So
I'm still...
Is it... Yeah, I mean, is it the next Last of Us? No. Is it? But you got Ghost of Tsushima or Ghost of Yotei. Is it the next fucking Spider-Man game or Wolverine? No. But I don't know. I thought it was, as far as State of Plays go, it was all right.
It wasn't a bad State of Play, actually. It was good. I just think that there was a little more filler in there than we needed to have, just with like, oh, this game's getting downloadable characters, or this game's getting an add-on. Like, that shit doesn't need to be in a State of Play, in my personal opinion, but they got to use their vessel to inform the masses somehow of these things. So I'm happy with it. Generally speaking, but I am excited that Ghost of Yotei is coming out next year, so that's something to look forward to. Yeah, dude. So let's move on a little bit. The Tokyo Game Show. When was that? Was that recent? Did we miss this?
I think it's this week.
I think it happened. Maybe it's happening right now. There's more Death Stranding 2 trailers.
Yeah.
And I don't know a whole lot about it. But I wanted to talk briefly about this because it's on the Push Square site and we don't need to go into detail. I'm trying not to spoil much about this game for myself, but you can watch the English versions of the trailers now on Push Square. But they're saying that Hideo Kojima is doing another weird thing with this game where apparently you can affect the story by taking photos. in the game, like photo mode. He's always got these
Weird.
fucking weird ass things that he does. It'll probably be kind of dope. But anyways, you can check that out. I don't have anything else to say about that. I just wanted to let you guys know that Hideo Kojima's at it again with some weird ass shit. And I don't know. Maybe it'll be trivial, maybe it won't be. But to affect the story is interesting.
Yeah, that's really strange. I wonder what weird mechanic. Maybe that's like his new version of likes from the first game or something.
He's gonna break the
like,
wall.
It's gonna be like, oh, you took a bunch of photos of freaking rocks and dead people, so like you get additional like Instagram likes, and that gives you more, I don't know, mojo for your scooter or whatever.
I can't guarantee it, but I would venture to guess that Hideo is going to be utilizing AI somehow and analyzing the pictures that you're taking in game, and he's going to create some sort of weird fucking thing at the end with AI generated art or something
It'll be the final boss.
Let's be honest. All video games utilize AI. What do you think that non-player characters are? It's all fucking scripted AI shit. But like using it in a different way, maybe an interesting way to like analyze the photos you're taking in the game and like come up with something. I don't know. We'll see. Moving on. This is interesting news. Jake, we were talking about how the PS5 Pro was available for pre-order. And I didn't get one. You didn't get one, I don't think. LJ didn't get one. And it has not sold out yet. So that's interesting. Is there a limited number of these consoles? Is
Maybe
it
not.
possible to have sold out? Can we take the fact that it didn't sell out as a sign of disinterest in the console? Or is a sign as people are priced out? Or is there no limit and they're going to make these things like demand making them? However many they get pre-ordered, they'll just fucking send off. They'll get them back. What's going on here?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I think it's cool only in that it means that scalpers will have no way to make any money on this.
Well,
but
they're
I think
scalping
that
the shit out of the 30th anniversary shit.
Oh, I guarantee you that's true. But as far as the Pro goes, I mean, who knows how? I mean, the PS5 is really popular, but they did make it pretty expensive. I don't necessarily disagree with the price, but it could very well be that people just aren't willing to spend that kind of money for it. So I did check right when we started the podcast, and it is indeed still for sale. So that's or still available. At least it just says sign in to buy, where if you go to the 30th anniversary one, it just says currently unavailable.
Right.
So my guess is that, yeah, I mean, at least for now, it's readily available. Now, I am curious what that means, if they'll show when they do I don't know if Circana is the one that does the numbers for console sales or not, but whenever they release the sales numbers for the quarter of the last quarter of the year, if they're going to split up PS5 and PS5 Pro, or if it's just going to be like an amalgamation of numbers, because I'd be curious to know what it actually does sell.
Yeah. Well, we may not know. But it is curious. I don't know what it means, but I thought it was worthy of talking about. Let's talk about PlayStation quizzes, Jake. We've been doing pretty good lately. Let's give the listeners what they want and take another PlayStation quiz real quick on Push Square. This is number 28 on their website. Jake and I like to take these tests. There's usually 10 questions. And we're going to go for it. There we go. Question 1 of 10. What state is Sucker Punch Productions' main office located in the United States? California, Michigan, Washington, or Texas? I want to say Washington.
It is Washington.
Correct. Which Japanese publisher has the rights to anime properties like Dragon Ball, Naruto, and Sword Art Online? Is it Konami? Koei Tecmo, Square Enix, or Bandai Namco?
It's Bandai Namco, I'm pretty sure.
Correct. What kind of game is Einhander, which released on the PS1 in 97? Is it a turn-based RPG? It was made by Squaresoft. Is it scrolling shooter, 3D fighting game, or Metroidvania? It's probably a turn-based RPG if it's Squaresoft.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea, man. I've never heard of this game. I love the art.
I'm
though.
wrong. It's a scrolling shooter. Fuck.
That fucking cover is cool as shit, though.
Yeah, it is dope.
I love that. Like
It's like a
it's like an X-ray of a hand. Yeah, it's cool.
Einhander. What PS3 game is this screenshot from? It's a dude kicking a dude.
Sleeping Dogs.
Is it for sure?
I'm almost positive. Yeah,
All right.
It looks like it.
Yeah, correct. In 2005, hip-hop artist 50 Cent starred in 50 Cent Bulletproof on the PS2. A sequel released 3 years later. What was it called? 50 Cent Hell in the Hood, 50 Cent Blood on the Sand, 50 Cent Dirty Money, or 50 Cent Payback? I think it's Payback.
No, it's Blood on the Sand.
What?
Yeah.
You're right. Wow. Would have never.
And I never played these games, but I've heard a lot. People love this fucking game. That's the only reason why I've heard of it. I don't know why. I've never played it, but apparently it's pretty good.
Horizon Zero Dawn first released for the PS4 in 2017. It has sold over 20 million copies to date. How many copies did it sell in its first year? 19.1 million, 2.3 million, 7.6 million, or 14. Probably 14 point. It's either 7.6.
I think it's. I was gonna say I think it's 7.6. Because I think it sold a lot on the back end with like console bundles and freaking
7.6.
re-releases and yeah.
Correct.
Nice.
Before No Man's Sky, Hello Games developed 3 titles in the same racing platformer series. What was this series called? Rex, Havoc, Bob, Hellfire, Joe Danger, or Jimmy? It's Joe Danger, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, got it. The original siphon filter on PS1. What's the name of the terrorist organization that Gabe Logan is tasked with stopping? Black Sky, Black Monday, Blackwater, or Black Baton?
I never played these games, so I have no idea.
Blackwater sounds right. It's like Watergate. It's not Black Baton. It's not Black Monday. Black Sky or Blackwater, probably. What do you want to go for?
Black Sky.
Well, siphon, filter. Those are things you do with water. You can siphon it and you can filter
okay.
it. You want to go Blackwater?
Sure, Blackwater.
Fuck, man, I don't know. You're probably right.
Your logic is irrefutable.
It's Black Baton. We both would have been wrong. Fuck it. All right. Which of these games was not a PS4 launch title in North America? Warframe, Don't Starve, Killzone Shadowfall, or Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag? I think it's Warframe.
It's Don't Starve. Warframe did launch with the console.
In North America?
Yeah.
Don't Starve is correct. Last question, Jake. We've missed 2. In the Dragon Quest games, which of these rare monsters award huge amounts of experience points? King Slimes, Metal Slimes, Gold Golems, or Mimics? I think it's Mimics.
I don't know. I've never played a proper Dragon Quest game.
Neither have I. It's not Metal Slimes.
So just pick one.
The Gold Golem seems right, but a Mimic seems like it would be the most tricky to find. I'm going to go Mimic. Nope. It's a Metal Slime. Fuck. 7 out of 10. This is the first quiz we've taken where we're in the middle echelon. And it says we're an enthusiast, not bad. You know your PlayStation. Fuck you, Push Square.
And, I mean, I think like in the beginning we had some pretty bad ones, but it's been a while.
We missed 3 out of 10. Anyways, it is what it is. Well, let's talk about the PS Plus games coming out this month of October. And I gotta say this. I like this offering. Dead Space Remake. Haven't played it. Gonna play it. WWE 2K24. Haven't played it. Will never play it. Doki Doki Literature Club. Have it on my Mac. Started it. Didn't get very far. But I want to play it.
Yeah, I will say of the offerings this month, Dead Space Remake, literally everybody should play that game. Unless you're like opposed to third-person horror games, but in my opinion, Dead Space Remake is arguably the best survival horror game. I mean, people argue that it's Resident Evil 4, whatever, but I think that this game is so good that everybody should play it. WWE 2K24, people love those games. Like you, I'm not a big wrestling fan, even though I'm sure it's a lot of fun. I don't know that I'm really going to get into it. Doki Doki Literature Club, I really want to play. It looks ridiculous when you look at like the marketing for it. Like, why would I play this anime game with these girls and like all this stuff? But all I hear is that like it's not what you think it is. It's not what you think it is. But they're like, don't read anything about it. Don't read anything about it. So I think I might give it a go just to see what it's all about. See what's the big deal about it. And I might actually download Dead Space Remake because I never did finish it on my Xbox. So playing it on my PlayStation would be rad because I could get trophies and stuff, and I just prefer to play there.
Yeah.
That's a perfect game for October, for Halloween month.
Casting
Dead
of
Space
Frank
Remake.
Stone and Dead Space Remake are going to be on my list.
Yeah, make sure you go out there, boys and girls, and add all these to your library, for sure.
Very good. All right, next one is News Point. Where are we at on time? Okay, let me write that down. Guerilla, Jason Schreier broke some news. He said they're not working on a Horizon 3. Guerrilla over there. They're working on Horizon Online. And it's going to be a live service title.
Where have I heard this before? Oh, it was when fucking Naughty Dog wasted 3 years of everyone's time by making The Last of Us Online.
Well, you're going to get Horizon
getting it
Lego
canceled.
version, so and a remaster
And
of the first one.
Horizon remastered, yeah. But it's like, why? To be fair, Horizon Online, it kind of makes sense to have like a Monster Hunter style like online game where people get together and fight these robot dinosaurs. Like, I think that's kind of rad, but I don't know. Finish the fucking series.
How did
and then do
Horizon
this.
Online work when they had that DLC? Didn't they have like a Horizon DLC that could be online or something, or was that just something else?
No, that was Ghost of Tsushima had that,
And that was awesome.
That online mode, and apparently it was really good.
It was
Legends
really
or whatever
good.
it was called. So, but I don't think they ever had an online component to Horizon. But they've been talking about like
Burning
2 or 3
Shores
different
is what I'm
online
thinking
projects. Burning Skies? No, Burning Shores.
Yeah, Burning Skies was
something.
Resistance on the Vita.
Right, that shitty Vita game. Yeah.
All right. Anyways.
Well, yeah, I guess I have nothing to say about this other than like that sucks because I'd rather just have them finish the story, finish the trilogy, and then fucking make these weird games.
True that.
But I guess they want to keep you coming back.
Last but not least, news point is that Ubisoft has come out and they said, guys, listen, here's the deal. You know, we can't say things that please everybody all the time. So you're going to have to just toughen up and take this news as it comes. That game Assassin's Creed Shadows, she ain't going to be ready this year on the PS5. We're going to put it out February 14th, Valentine's Day, 2025. So take that for what it is. Don't shoot the messenger. That's what's happening.
So what I find interesting about this is that I don't know when Ghosts of Yotei is coming out, but Assassin's Creed Shadows is also like a feudal Japanese kind of open world action game. And I have no doubt that Ghosts of Yotei is going to be a much better game than this. And so, like, what does this mean for Assassin's Creed? If anything, it might not mean anything. It might be totally fine if they get it out in February and Assassin's Creed and Ghost of Yotei doesn't come out until November or something. But I don't know, man. Maybe Assassin's Creed Shadows will be the greatest Assassin's Creed game of all time.
Excuse me.
But historically, those games, while great, are not on the level of a narrative experience like Ghost of Tsushima. So we'll just have to see. I don't know, but I think it is kind of intriguing if it'll work or not. But for them, anyways. But I don't think that it's really going to affect me at all because I probably won't play Assassin's Creed Shadows anyway.
Right. Yeah, I don't really care about it. Moving on. I don't know. It's what it is. I gotta fix the focus on my camera, dude. It's like not zoom. I'm like too close to it or something. It's a manual focus, the one I use, not the one you see me on, but the other one, the higher def camera, my Canon. Anyways, that's it, man. That's it for the show. I've got nothing else, and I'm more than content with not giving anything else. I did remember, and I also forgot the other thing I was going to bring up on today's podcast, and it was relevant to video gaming, I believe. Might have been relevant to the 3D printing I'm doing. If anybody has a cool idea of something I should 3D print, let me know. I'll try to find a design. If you want me to make something custom, maybe I'll try that too. I wouldn't mind. I think letters would be easy to extrude and like make in like Blender. I could probably make like a PS This Is Awesome 3D printed something, which would actually be pretty dope, and print them for cheap.
Can you get PLA or some other plastic that's transparent, like a colored transparent color? You should make like a PS This Is Awesome sign or like the sacred symbols or something and put lights inside of it. Like that would be kind of cool.
Might be hard to do, but it would be cool. Yeah. Huh. I should look into that. Because like doing like letters would be really easy. Like just 3D printing fucking plastic letters would be so simple. I don't think anyone even does that. I don't think you can even download letters. Man, maybe I'm onto something. If I just sell the fucking alphabet on Thingiverse for like $5, people can just print off their letters, dude. To type out
that would be pretty
whatever
neat.
they want. It's actually pretty clever. Huh. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. There's all kinds of cool shit on there. I don't know, man. There's neat stuff everywhere. There's like, there is for resin too. Like I just, a lot of the resin prints, you know, are a little more, there's a lot of practical things. Like they have like, they have these free switch plate covers for Halloween that you can print off, and they're like little skeleton hands, and they're cool as shit, and like these little ghosts, and they have pumpkins that you put LED lights in, and they glow up. You don't even have to modify them. You just download them and put them on the printer, and it prints them, you know? And she's like, all right. So it's kind of fun to do that kind of shit, but it's also like, do you really want all that stuff? I don't know. But making dungeon terrain is fucking dope. I made these mini pillars, and I made a sarcophagus. I could have done it on a 3D printer, doing the amount of shit I printed on this FDM printer. Just today alone, I made 4 pillars, a throne, 2 little skull towers, and a fucking sarcophagus. Pretty detailed. Printed it all in 4 hours. On my resin printer, dude, that shit would have taken probably, I don't know, depending on how tall it is, but probably like 5.5 hours to print, and then I have to drain all the resin off of it, and then I have to wash it all. It's all with a mask on. Then I got to cure it. And then if there's a print failure, it just results in tons of fucking problems and cleanup. So, dude, the FDM shit is just like, even if it print fails, you'll get all this plastic shit everywhere, but it's not poisonous. I can do it without the PLA. You can print without having a hood or having to like vent it, which is awesome. I have not smelled any odor from it. The fans are loud as fuck though on this one.
Sure.
But because it's all about temperature regulation. Make sure the bed is a certain temperature. It's weird the way it works. I know you guys probably don't care, but the bed that I have, it's like a metalish bed that it shoots a PLA down on, and there's a heater. It sucks onto the thing with like a magnet, and then there's a heater underneath, and there's a temperature readout, and like the settings on the software just know what temperature to keep the bed at. But as long as the bed's warm enough, the PLA will stay kind of like stuck to it. But as soon as it dries or cools off, the PLA just pops right off there. Like it's really kind of clever. It's really impressive, actually. The FDM printing has gone a long ways. Bamboo Labs have some really nice ones, but I'm not paying that for those ones. Anyways, do you have anything you want to say before we get off for the show for the day, Jake? It's Monday. It's almost 8 o'clock. We both have to work in the morning.
No, I'm gonna go eat some dinner and probably watch some television. I was up late last night because I wanted to go to bed early, but I've been reading that book, Project Hail Mary, by the guy that wrote The Martian. What the fuck's his name? Let me look it up real quick, because I don't want to. Project Hail Mary. Andy Weir. Dude, this book is fucking awesome. Like, I don't know if you read much anymore or even listen to audiobooks, but anyone who's into it, I would highly recommend checking it out, because I was like, oh, it's a book about a guy who's like trapped in space by himself, and like, is it really going to be that interesting? And man, it's like almost 500 pages, and I just was absolutely hooked on it. And last night I crawled into bed and I was like, oh, I'll just read a few pages. And then once I realized I only had like 20 or 30 pages left, I just stayed awake until I read the whole thing. And ended up staying up a little later than I wanted to. But yeah, I guess they're going to make a movie out of it. That's kind of interesting. I'm curious how they're going to do that. But yeah, if anyone out there likes reading, likes sci-fi, highly recommend Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir.
Nice.
But that's all I have to say.
Yeah, nice. I want so badly to revisit Cormac McCarthy books, and I'm finishing the Sunset Limited now, and something about audiobooks, man. Like, I think they're hit and miss. I downloaded the sample of his Blood Meridian book, which is the hardest book of his to read, I would say. But the narrator did such a great job. But the audiobook is like, is it $20 or $10 or something? And it's just like, fuck.
Is the Blood Meridian the one? Now maybe he was like this with all of his writing, but isn't the Blood Meridian the one where like he just throws conventional grammar and shit out the window when he writes? Like, it's super hard to read.
Well,
am I thinking of a different book?
He uses a lot of hold on. Meridian quote. Let me just find one or something here. He uses a lot of old world language. So like this is a quote from it. It says, "The truth about the world," he said, "is that anything is possible. Had you not seen it all from birth and thereby bled it of its strangeness, it would appear to you for what it is, a hat trick in a medicine show, a fevered dream, a trance bepopulate with chimeras having neither analog nor precedent, an internal carnival, a migratory tent show whose ultimate destination after many a pitch in many a mudded fields is unspeakable and calamitous beyond reckoning. The universe is no narrow thing, and the order within it is not constrained by any latitude in its conception to repeat what exists in one part in any other part. Even in this world, more things exist without our knowledge than with it. And the order in creation, which you see, is that which you have been put here, or that which you've put here, like a string in a maze, so that you shall not lose your way. For existence has its own order, and that no man's mind can compass, that mind itself being but a fact among others. And that's like 2 fucking paragraphs for this fucking book. And it's like 400, I don't know how many pages it is. But it's like,
I zoned out while you were reading that, because it's like, the language seems very, very elegant, but I can't absorb stuff that's written like that.
Like, this is a fucking awesome quote from it. This is one of my favorite quotes from this book, actually. When the lambs is lost in the mountain, he said, they is cry. Sometimes come the mother, sometime the wolf. It's fucking rad. There's like really good dialogue. There's one here about war. It sounds like Fallout. War was always here before man was. War waited for him. The ultimate trade awaiting its ultimate practitioner. It's fucking rad. Like, he's hard as nails, man. Cormac McCarthy's hard as fucking nails. And you read his fucking shit. This book, it'll set you on a path of like trying to figure out what the fuck he's talking about, but at the same time thinking you understand it. And like, there are literary scholars who go back to this book and try to decipher passages. There are books about this book, about what it means. Like, Cormac was on a whole nother playing field when he wrote this book. Blood Meridian, yeah, and there's an audio version of it. So I want to just let it rip and just let me just like fucking like close my eyes and just think about this shit, because like it requires more brain power to take in. It requires a lot of brain power to read it in a way that's understandable. So like, if someone else can do that for me, then I can just sit and listen and try to like understand. You know what I mean? It's a great book though. I've read it twice. I don't know.
Nice. Glad to hear it.
Yeah, it's so good. Don't get me on a Cormac kick. I just fucking love him so much, man. Here's one more. I got one more, and I'll let the listeners go. This is great. The wrath of God lies sleeping. It was hid 1,000,000 years before men were, and only men have the power to wake it. Hell ain't half full. Hear me. You carry war of a madman's making onto a foreign land. You'll wake more than the dogs. It's so fucking rad. It's fucking good, man. It's all about the colonization. Not really colonization, but it's I don't want to get it wrong, but it's back when this country was absolutely ruthless. People would go, for lack of a better word, the American Indians, American natives, whatever, were out there. There were fucking soldiers and they were just being tasked to go bring ears back, and like they would get paid bounties for taking out quote unquote heathens. And then there's fucking battles that he talks about in this book. There's bloodshed. The main character never knew his mother. When he was born, I believe he killed his mom or something. So he was born into death, so to speak. Like he came into this world killing people. And like as a young kid, he's 14 and he just leaves his dad. He just fucking leaves, and he goes and he like hangs out with sailors and fights with them and shit in bars and like taverns. And like, it's just a fucking ruthless book, man. It's nuts. And he encounters like a war party and like criminals that are out. Like some of the times, like back then, like if you were like in jail and you were in these prisons, like they weren't even like prisons, man. It was just like you were just like in chains and shackles. Like war generals would come by and be like, he looks fucking tough, I want him. And then you could be released from jail, but then you were his property, and he would make you fucking fight alongside him and do shit for him. And you would just do it because you were free. So you were like fighting for your freedom in a weird. It's real fucked up shit that happened in this country, man. But like it was lawless and ruthless, and it's the Blood Meridian is a fucked up book, man. Don't read it if you're in a good mood, because it'll ruin you. Anyways, enough about that. I got nothing else for the listeners. I hope everybody has a good week. I hope everybody enjoys our podcast. We do this every month, every week. We do it every month for sure. We do it every week, usually. And nice to be back on the trend here in getting our patrons early access to the show. Remember, if you want to be a patron of our show, patreon.com/PS This Is Awesome. Go sign up for $1 a month. It's not even $1 a week. It's $1 per month. It's easy to do. You guys can do that. Sign up. If you want to throw us a little more money, you can. I am curious if our listener got the sticker down in Australia. So I would like to know. If you want to chime in, shoot us a message, psthisisawesome@gmail.com. I hope you did. And if you didn't, I'm sorry. I'll try to send another one. It didn't cost me a whole lot of money. I did sneak in a Fred Oakman sticker too, I think. I think I did.
Nice.
Yeah. So maybe a one of my land sticker. I don't know what the hell I put in there, but I wasn't gonna send that shit to Australia and not promote myself, my music.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah. Stick it on a urinal if you want somewhere, or just put it on your skateboard or the back of your car or whatever, your bicycle, your shoes, however you get around. Jake, do you have anything you want to say before we get out of here? I know you want to eat, so we'll let you go.
Nope. Ready to go.
All right, let's get the hell out of here. Thanks for tuning in. This has been episode 345 PS. This is awesome. And we'll see you again next week. Like Back for Blood, Back Eat, and Ballistic. Back Eat? Is that right? This is awesome.
Awesome.
What the fuck is Back Eat? All right, anyway.
I have no idea.